Hello team, my name is Asim. Welcome back to 𝗏𝗲𝗃𝗀 YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to do one DevSecOps project, that is deployment of deep Disney plus Hotstar into Kubernetes cluster, right? So before that, I'll let you give some briefing of this, what kind of application it is. So this application is written in Node.js, right? Basically the Next.js application where and this application is being used by the users to display, to watch the movies, even sports as FIFA World Cup or the Cricket World Cup. So the use case we'll be handling now that how this application being handled in the real time, right? This is this application is clone actually. In the real time, they are using Kubernetes deployment, right? Where the application is being deployed into Kubernetes to handle that incoming traffic, event-based traffic on their application, right? Whenever the traffic get peak up, right? And whenever the traffic gets a peak up based on the event of like Cricket World Cup final or the FIFA World Cup final, that has to be handled by Kubernetes clusters, right? So they will spin up new pods, right? Whenever the traffic gets spike up and whenever traffic gets down, that means user get reduces, the spin up the pods will be coming to the minimum desired state what we have mentioned in our configuration files to the Kubernetes cluster, right? Let's define the accept criteria as well, right? So that you can at the end of the video you can check it out and you can say that okay, Asim, you have done what you have committed, right? First thing, we will integrate GitHub private repository, right? We will be using script to deploy all our DevOps stack tools, right? And then afterward we will be adding email alerts so that in case of any pipeline fail, abort or successful, we should receive email alerts in order to take prompt action to fix that pipeline in case of failures. Okay, so your team will be receiving that emails. Then after we will be deploying to EKS cluster and we will cross check Kubernetes by killing the pods and make sure that what do you mean by Kubernetes, right? Auto healing. So that means whenever the pod is getting crashed or deleted, it should spin up one more pod to match our minimum desire as 2, right? So this function, this use case also we will cover in this lab session. Then afterwards I'm going to add the certificate, right? SL certification to our domain. I'll make sure the traffic between the client and server to be encrypted between that. Okay, so this all we will check it out. If it is all use cases will be passed, then we will say that our project is successful, right? So you should review everything and you should confirm in the comment stating that this project is successful as Asim you have committed, right? So if you check the Jira dashboard of my, right? So I have been issued one ticket over here on my name, right? This is 𝗏𝗲𝗃𝗀 𝗃𝗏. So if you review here, it has mentioned that it is Docker clone Kubernetes deployment. It has given all the status that I'm going to integrate GitHub repository, that is private repository, right? How you're going to integrate. See, in the organization, all the repositories of your source code will be private. So how you're going to integrate with the Jenkins, right? In this case, we are going to create one token and we are going to add. So this flow I'm going to I'm going to cover in the lab. Okay, so you can watch over there. That's right. This is the task which I have given to us. So what I'm going to do in the state, first I'm going to switch to in progress. When the task is completed, when I cross check every functionality, I'm going to move to done. Okay. Okay, so guys, if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe so that you receive latest updates from our channel in terms of DevOps, AI and cloud related videos, right? On the demands from my followers, I'm available on the top mate, right? Where you can book any sessions, right? So you can have a session for interview preparation, resume, even you can have mentor one-to-one sessions, and the prices are very minimum, right? Where you can book from topmate.io. Okay, and even when we are going to execute this project, please don't forget to tag me on the LinkedIn and state that you have completed this project. Okay, and even we have one announcement is over this, whoever going to deploy this application and post on the LinkedIn, right, and tagging me over there with all the screenshot stating that this project has been successful. So for the first 5 members, I will be give free one-to-one mentor session. Okay, so just what you need to do, you need to post and tag me over there, and you have to just message me stating that I have completed the project. Please give me one mentor session, one. So we will take 5 members, like 5 candidates, and we will have one-to-one mentor session as a free based on our availability, right? So this as a enhancement to the DevOps community, right? I'm giving as a freeway. Okay, so now let's go and check out in the lab and we will set up everything and we will complete this project. team, if you check our architectural drawing over here, the first things come with that. Where is our source code reside for this project, right? We are using GitHub as a central repository where the code has been pushed, and the account on which the source code is available is my account, that is 𝗲𝗃𝗃19. You have to search on the GitHub, right, where we have a project a directory, right, project repository. In that repository name is Hotstar Kubernetes, and it is public, right? Currently it is in the public. This video we are going to change this visibility to the private. Okay, so I will show you all the steps. First thing, if you check the directory repository, we have all content related to this project. Okay, instead of Docker file, Jenkins files, and I have a Terraform code over here and the Kubernetes code as well, right? And I have a script which we are going to use it now while deploying multiple DevOps tools in our virtual machine. Okay, the first of what we required is that one virtual machine, right? For that we will go to AWS. I'm into my AWS account. If you don't have AWS account, you can check my channel, how to create free AWS account. Right? You can follow the steps. So if you check it here, I don't have any running instance. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to launch one EC2 instance. Right. You can follow the step, first step where you can create one EC2 instance. Right. Right. Then afterwards, I'm going to give it the name like uh, Hotstar. Right. Let me add as Hotstar application, right? Then afterwards, I'm going to go with the Ubuntu operating system, right? Then I'm going to keep it as 20.04 LTR version for Ubuntu. Then I'm going to select T3 large, right? Because we require to install multiple tools within that, right? So I'm going to use this T3 X large, okay? Then after that, I'm going to use the existing key or else what we will do, let's create one more key over here. So here I'm going to give it as Hotstar 3, okay, and I'm going to go with the PEM key. So the key is being created, right? So for currently I'm going to allow only SSH port. I'm going to use 15 GB of the storage for this virtual machine, okay? So simply what I'm going to do it, I have open SSH client, then I have defined everything, right? So let's create this launch instance machine, right? So if you click on this launch instance, right here, if you check it out, this machine is up and running, right? So let me just click on this. So let's go into the security group over here, right, where I have to enable some right port numbers. So let me go over here, open the port numbers as I have defined, right? What I'm going to do it, I'm going to open some ports which I'm going to use in this project. Okay, for that I'm going to add it as uh, SSS, I required HTTP protocol. Then I'm going to keep it for everyone. Then I'm going to add HTTPS as well. I'm going to keep it for everything because later on I'm going to add one domain for this. Okay, I'm going to add SSL certification as well. And TCP, custom TCP, I'm going to keep it for everyone. I'm going to add for Jenkins. Okay, then I'm going to add 9000 for SonarQube because we are going to integrate SonarQube in our project. So I'm just going to give it at SonarQube. Okay, then afterwards let me add what has missed out. SonarQube is done, Jenkins is done. I'm going to add is 587. This is being used for Gmail SMTP server, right? Later on we are going to integrate email alerts from Jenkins, right, whenever the pipeline gets triggered, failed, or passed in case of that. Okay, then afterwards I have 465. Let me cross check one more time which ports I'm going to use it. Let me cross check. 465 and 587, right? So let me open 465. This also for the Gmail. Okay, so these are the ports. Just I remember in progressively whichever the required ports, we will open that. Okay, so we added security group as well and this one. Okay, the first step, I need one SSH client AG. For that, I'm going to use it mobile extern. I'm going to click on this session. In the session, then I'm going to give the IP address, right, which we have just set up. So the IP address is 24.142, right? I'm going to paste it over here, right? And then afterwards, I'm specifying Ubuntu as operating system. Then I'm going to give the private IP. Okay, the private key which I have created, I'm going to copy over here, right? I'm going to select OK. So the key will be authenticated with my server. Then if it is correct, then I'm into the server, right? So it will validate and it will allow me to access the server. So that is fine. So I'm switching into root user now. After that, let me just check it out which machine I'm going to use now, right? So if I click on this, I'm going to get details of my virtual machine, right? As I mentioned that I am using Ubuntu latest version, then it is Linux operating system, then I'm using from Amazon, then it is T3X large. Okay, so this is fine. So what I have done, as per the, I have set up first infrastructure. In that infrastructure, I have created one one virtual machine. So virtual machine already I have configured on AWS. Now what we need to do, we need to install some DevOps tools within that, like Jenkins, right? If I'm going for that, I need to install Jenkins. I need to install SonarQube, Trivy. I need to WPAS, Docker, right? Even I need to add npm, right? Node.js as well. So later on, I need to install Terraform as well on my virtual machine. These all steps I'll be following now. For that, what happened? I have one uh, script, right? Script is available in my uh, directory, okay, on the same repository. If you go over a script, you will find all the scripts related to this project. Okay, so simply what I'm going to do it now, I'm going to clone this repository. Okay, so because this repository is public, I can clone this repository, right? So for that use case, let me go back again as a Ubuntu user, right? So that let's be Ubuntu user and do it everything. So let me check first that is Git is installed or not, right? So Git by default, when you are configuring one Ubuntu virtual machine, it will be by default Git will be installed. Okay, so I'm going to git clone and I'm going to paste the URL of my repository. Sorry, uh, git clone, and let me copy one more time the URL of this repository, right? So hit enter. So my repository from the GitHub will be cloned. If I LL over here, so it's finding that Hotstar Kubernetes is there, right? So let me go over here, Hotstar Kubernetes, and if you ls over here, you'll find one directory with the name of script. Okay, so let me go inside the script, and if I ls over here, you'll finding that you have multiple scripts to install. Okay, so first thing what we will do it is that let me give, if you check it over here, I don't have any executable permission given to this all shell scripts. Okay, so what I'm going to do it, I'm going to use this script right here. There is a one command which I'm going to copy and give all the permissions for this script. So I'm going to paste it over here. So what I've given, I'm giving a chmod execute permission to the wildcard whichever in the script directory is there all sh file, right? That will be given added as a executable permissions. So if I LL here, you'll be finding all in the green color now. Okay, so let's now install one by one. So first step what we'll do, let's install Jenkins File, right? So if I hit enter, so Jenkins will be installed on my virtual machine. Okay, the execution of Jenkins is completed. Jenkins by default run on Java. Okay, so Java 17 we have installed. So let us check the version. Java hyphen version, right? So it is giving that OpenJDK 17 has been installed, right? Because Java is built on Jenkins is built on Java. Okay, so the required dependency of Java installation, then you can install Jenkins on this. Okay, so everything has been added in the script. You don't need to worry. Just you need to execute that. Okay, so let me check that as well, right? Systemctl status of the Jenkins server, right? Status Jenkins. This is a command. With this command, you can just check it out. Is stating that Jenkins continuous integration server is up and running. That is active and running. Okay. So now, in the case of the Jenkins, in on which port number does this run? Can you please answer in the comment and let me know? So it's run on 808 port or 8080 port number. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the port of let me go in the edit session and let me copy the IP address of my server. Okay. So what I'm going to go it, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to paste my server IP, then port number over here. So I'll be able to access the Jenkins on the browser side, right, to the UI. So it's saying that it's the password has been stored on this server where you have installed the Jenkins server. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this path. I'm going inside this, Control C. Then afterwards, I'm using sudo and the cat because I'm the Ubuntu user, right? So I need to use sudo. Okay, paste and hit enter. So it has prompted me the password, which I'm going to give it over in the Jenkins. Okay, so I'm going to paste this. If your your password is correct, then it will allow you to proceed further. Okay, so by default, it's saying that this is correct. Okay, so I'm just going with the install suggested plugins. So it will install all the plugins. So it will take some time. Meanwhile, what we'll do, we will install remaining tools on our virtual machine. Okay, so let me LL over here. What we have done, we have installed the Jenkins, right? So next step, what we will do it, we will install Docker as well on our machine. So I will just execute Docker shell script. So it will install Docker on my machine. Okay. So let me check Docker-v version. So it's printing that Docker version has been uh, added over here. One more thing, I'll show you this as well. A Docker script. Okay. So see, simply what we are doing, we are updating the packages first. Then we are installing Docker IO, right? Then I'm adding Ubuntu user into the Docker group. By default, when you are installing Docker, right, with this command, Docker user will be created on your virtual machine. Okay. So what I'm going to do, by default, you have Ubuntu user. So I will adding Ubuntu user into my Docker group because I want to be Ubuntu user and check Docker PS, Docker containers, Docker images, right? Even Jenkins user is there. Jenkins user, while creation of Jenkins on my server, Jenkins user has been created. That user also I have to add into the Docker group because later on, what will happen while I'm creating the Docker, the pipeline, the project pipeline from the Jenkins, I require this permission as well. Okay. After that, I'm going to refresh this using this command. Then afterwards, I'm adding Docker dot socket some permissions so that it should run with the Ubuntu user as well. Okay. Then afterward, I'm restarting Docker. Okay. Simple. These are the commands which has been executed now. Okay. And later on, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create one container with this using this command. Okay. So just copy this command and paste it over here and hit enter. So what will happen? The image will be pulled from Docker Hub. The image name is SonarQube LTS community, and it will create a container out of that. And container will be mapped from which 9000 port to 9000 port number. Okay, the 9000 is a host number, host port number, and 9000 is a my SonarQube by default run on 9000. So that is container port number. Okay, so this has been fetched and created one Docker container out of that. Okay, if I Docker images, you're able to find that one images have been fetched, that is SonarQube. Okay, and if I check Docker PS, so it will show me that one Docker container, that is SonarQube, is up and running, that is been port map with 9000 to 9000. Okay, so this is what we have set up, one Docker container of SonarQube. Okay, So this is done. So let us check what we need to install further. Okay, we have installed Jenkins Docker. Now simply what I'm going to do, I'm going to install uh, kubectl, right? Because we need to install kubectl in order to further create EKS cluster. I need to install kubectl as well. Okay, that's fine. And I'm going to use AWS CLI as well, because we required AWS CLI in order to communicate with our AWS, right, while creation of EKS cluster. So for that I required AWS CLI, that is SDK provided by AWS, software development kit, that need to be installed on your virtual machine. Okay, so simply that is also done. Then what I have, kubectl is done. Now I need to install Trivy, right? We need to scan our repository files, those files of our project, right? That is Hotstar source code. So I require Trivy, right? In our flow we are going to scan our all our source code with the Trivy to check out the vulnerabilities is reside in that source code. Okay, so Trivy is also installed. Then what I required next, I need to install Terraform, right? We are going to use Terraform in the later stage to create one monitoring server. Okay, for that I need to create install Terraform as well. Okay, okay, so if you check it over, we have installed everything what is required for this project, only except Grafana, because this script we are going to run in monitoring server. Okay, not in this project server, right? Hotstar server. Okay, so except that we have everything. Now if I'm going to check over here above, Terraform version is also there. If I check AWS, so it should ask me that argument, right? That means AWS is working fine. If I'm going to check Terraform is fine. If I'm going to check Trivy, right? 𝗃𝗏-V, it should print me the version, is printing version. So installation of all the tools required in this project has been completed now. Okay, so simply what we will do, we'll go to the Jenkins now and we will configure everything in the Jenkins. So all the plugins have been installed. First I'm going to give it as admin, and the password also I'm going to give it as per my desire, right? So you can give it as you convenient to you, right? I'm going to add it over here. Email address also I'm going to add. These are the main email address. Just I'm going to save and proceed further. Okay, and in this also I'm going to save so that it should not done. By default Jenkins will run on your IP and it's a 8080 port number. Save and finish. Okay, so I'm going to inside this Jenkins now. Okay, so this is a Jenkins UI which is accessible on your browser. If you check it over here, it's part. If you click on this create new job, right? So if you check, let me just show you over here. So this is a dashboard over here, right? Here you're going to find, you can create by clicking the new item. You can create one CI/CD pipeline, declarative or freestyle based on your use case. This is a build history where you can find whatever the build has been happen on this server. It is a manage Jenkins where you can configure tools, credentials, and servers, right? Which we are going to integrate all the servers within the Jenkins, right? So this all you can go with this flow. The first step what we need to do, first we are going to set up the servers. Okay, so let me go to the manage Jenkins. So here what I'm going to do it. First, let's fix this plugins. So we require some plugins, right, to be installed in this project. Okay, plugin list already I have over here. The same I'm going to use it. Okay, so let me copy over here Eclipse command, search available plugin. I'm going to check this. Then afterwards, let me just make it minimize so that I can minimize my time as well. Right, I require SonarQube scanner. I'm going to copy over here. Then I'm going to check this. Then afterwards, I require Node.js, right? I'm going to check over this. I require OWASP, right? Where I'm going to check dependency check, right? Where I'm going to scan my complete project dependencies using OWASP. Okay, this also done. Then I need stage view of my pipeline, right? When I'm going to create a Jenkins pipeline, I required stage view. Okay, so even I can use Blue Ocean in order to, right, trigger trigger our pipeline from different stages. Okay, so let me install Blue Ocean. Blue Ocean plugin, right? That's fine. Then afterwards, I need to add JDK because I need to define which kind of JDK version I'm going to use. So for that, I'm going to use JDK. Okay, by default, I think JDK is installed on this version, so I don't require to install. Okay, that's fine. Then I need Docker because I'm going to Dockerize my application, right? So I'm going to Docker common pipeline API and Docker build step. Okay, so that's fine. Then afterwards, I need to add Terraform as well. Later on, we are going to Terraform. Let me search Terraform. That's fine. Anything else I need to configure? No, that's fine. So this the plugins which I have selected just now, right? So that plugins I need to install now. Okay. So I'm going to click on this install. So it will install all my plugins over here, right? So now it's installing SonarQube. Okay, fine. Uh, Event, then okay, the plugins has been installed. Now I need to restart this to apply this everything, right? So I'm going to check on this restart Jenkins. So Jenkins will be restarted. We need to wait unless the Jenkins is up and running, right? After restart. Let's Jenkins restart. Meanwhile, what we'll do, we'll go and we will access SonarQube. Okay. By default, SonarQube on which port number? It's on 9000. You have said right. Please come on and let me know. Okay. So you're into the UI of SonarQube from the browser. By default, SonarQube password and the username will be admin. Okay. So just remember, and later on when you are going to log in into here, it will ask you to give the password. Okay. So I'm going to give you the password, right? So which I'm going to remember. So let me add over here. So password has been added now, right? Just I'm going to give you the name and save the password as well. So if you check it over here, this is the dashboard. Sorry, this is a login page and the dashboard of SonarQube. We have multiple options over here. The projects, I don't have anything, issues, rules, and everything, right? First, if what we require a token in order to connect with the Jenkins. SonarQube server and the Jenkins integration will be done with the token, right? For that, I need to go to the administration. Inside the administration, there will be one security. Uh, I need to go to the users. Then if you check it over here, then you will be finding tokens over here, right? Here I need to give the token over here. So I'm going to give it as Jenkins, right? To remember that. And I'm going to add as expiry in 30 days. Even you can keep it no expiry based on your use case, right? In this project, I'm keeping no expiry generate. Okay. So remember that these tokens will be whatever we have creating in this project after when the video will be published, this these tokens will not be valid. I am going to revoke this. Okay. So I'm not going to blur or I'm not going to uh, cut this one. Okay. So just I'm going to over here and I'm going to just a second. Let me save this token as well. Okay. So I'm just updating this token over here, right? And let me just one more time paste it. Okay, that's fine. So the token has been added over here, right? That's fine. So let me go over here. This is done from my end. I'm going to get done, right? So when I'm going to go over here and let me try one more time with this URL. So yes, that's fine. I'm going to give my credentials. Keep me signed in. I'm going to log in over here. So what we have done, we have before that we have added the Jenkins plugins, right? So now what we need to do, we need to go and configure that servers and tools within Jenkins. Okay. So first step, we need to configure the system, right? In the system, I'm going to add the servers. Okay. What server we are going to integrate? We are going to integrate SonarQube server, right? So if you go below over here, there'll be one check over here, Sonar servers. Okay. So if you check it over Sonar server, I'm going to click on this add Sonar server. So what I'm going to name over here is simply I have added just a second. I'm going to give the name as SonarQube. Okay. so that I can call from my Jenkins pipeline, okay, pipeline script. So that's fine. And it's asking me on which URL is accessible. So I'm going to give it 9,000. Just give it 9,000. That's fine. I'm going to remove this. And here is asking this what authentication you are going to use in order to access your SonarQube and integrate in the Jenkins, right? Here I don't have any credentials been added. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to click on this add. If I'm going for the drop down, there is none, right? I'm going to click on this Jenkins, right? It's giving me, this is a basically vault of the Jenkins where you can store your credentials and you can call from the Jenkins pipeline, right? Scripted pipelines. So I'm going to add a secret text, right? Here I'm going to give it secret, which secret I have created just now. Let me go and secret, let me copy over here. This is a token which we have created, right? I'm going to give it token over here. ID, I can give it Sonar token, right? And the description also I'll give it as token, or I can give the same name over here, Sonar token. Okay, so I'm going to click add. Then afterwards, what I'm going to do, when I'm going to click on this, I'm going to find this Sonar token. Sonar token is added over here. Then let me apply, right? Let me go down, drop down, drop down, apply and save it, right? Now what we need to do, we will go and we'll configure the tools which we have installed, right? Which we are going to use in our project. So I'm going for this tools session, and let us go and cross check. I need to install npm, right? Node.js version, and I'm going to go for the dependency check, Docker, and everything that I need to configure through tools, right? In the Jenkins tool, the drop down, I'm going to configure JDK version. So here I'm going to give it as the same which you have. Just a second, I'm giving as JDK. Let me copy and paste it over here, or I can minimize so that I can I'm also been, let's configure first JDK, right? So I'm going to check on the JDK version, right? And let me give the name as JDK. Then afterwards, let me uncheck this and let me add install automatically. No, install from, let me add it over here, the option. And I'm going to use, right, add installer. From this add installer, I'm going to install from adoptium.net, right? So in this case, what I'm going to check it out, the version as JDK 17.9. Okay, this version I'm selecting. First install automatically, right? Then afterwards 17.0. Okay, so what we have done, we have added JDK. Then afterward we need to configure Sonar scanner, right? Here if you check it over here, Sonar scanner, if you click on the Sonar scanner, I need to give the name on which we are going to add later on. For that name, I'm going to give it Sonar scanner, right? Then afterwards install from central, right? Install automatically. Then I'm going to add the version as 7. Okay, 7 version, that's fine. Sonar scanner also has been defined. Then afterwards I need to add Node.js version. Node.js version, I'm going to check from the version as 17. Okay, 17. The name I need to give it as Node.js, right? 70 version is given. Then afterwards I need to add dependency check over here, right? For that I'm going to give it the name as DC, right? And I'm going to use dependency check over here, add installer from GitHub, and I'm going to check the version as 12.10. Okay, so what we have did, we have configured JDK, We have configured Sonar Scanner. Then we have configured Node.js installation and dependency check. Okay. Then afterwards, let me apply and save it over here. Okay. So what happened? We have added Jenkins servers, Jenkins tools as well, right? So now what we require, we need to create one pipeline script. Okay. For that, let me go over here to the new item, right? Here I'm going to give the name as Hotstar. Then I'm going to check as a pipeline script. I'm going to check on the OK. Right. This is bingo pipeline. Okay. Discard old bin. Right. So if you go my repository over here, as we mentioned that this will be the production project, right? That means our repository will not be public, right? It will be private repository. In all the organization, you are keeping your source code is the heart of the application, right? If a source code has been manipulated or steal, then you're going to face consequences of losing your business, right? And you will be finding one clone of your application. Okay. For that use case, what I'm going to do it first, I'm going to change this public to the private. Okay. How you're going to do it? First, you need to fork this repository. You have to come to my repository. You need to fork this repository. Then later on, name your repository with your name. You can keep it anytime, Hotstar 123. Then you have to go to your own repository. Then you have to click on this setting, right? Then afterward, you have to come to the down here. You have to change danger zone, change visibility to private. Then you have to click I want to make it. Then you say I have read everything and make this private repository. So it will prompt you to give the password. You give your password of the repository, okay, of your account. So if you check on this again, so it's showing now it's private, right? So integrate your private repository with the Jenkins server. This is also we have to cross check, right? So for that use case, the first what we are going to do it, we are going to try with hello world. Okay. In this stage, I'm going to add first stage as source git colon, right? I'm going to name this stage and I'm going to add one stage over here. So for that, I'm going to go with pipeline syntax with the help. And in the pipeline syntax, I'm going to check for git, and I'm going to give my repository URL, right? Repository URL. So you'll be finding this is going to fail. Okay. When you're going to click on this, it's showing that failed to connect to repository. The reason is that my repository is not public, it's private. So now how you're going to authenticate and connect your repository with the Jenkins, right? Private repository. So in here, you have to come to your account here and you have to go for settings. In the setting, you are going to go for developer setting over here. In the developer setting, you have to go for personal access token and you have to go with the token classic. So here what we need to do, we need to check on the generate new token. So it will ask you the generate new token or you need to go with the classic. Go with the classic one, okay? So click on this general use classic and then I will add as Hotstar project, okay? Just to remember for which use case I've used. Then it's asking me that what kind of permission you are going to give for this token, okay? Classic token. So I'm giving repo, admin don't required webhook, repo hook, user I don't required, enterprise no, let me give project, signing, that's fine. So what we need to get, we need to give only the access of repo, let me give the packages as well, okay? Admin don't required. So this all has been checked and I'm going to create the token. So now the token has been created, okay? So I'm going to copy this token and I'm going to paste in my file so that I can use it in this project, okay? So let me overwrite this token with this and let me paste one more time. So this token also will be revoked, okay? Don't worry about that. So this token is done. So now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to go over in the Jenkins, right? Jenkins part. Let me open new in this new open. I'm going to go for credentials over here, manage Jenkins. And the manage Jenkins, I need to go to where? Into the credentials. This is a vault of Jenkins where I'm going to check over here and add credentials. Then I'm going to add it over here, okay, with the credential as user and password. Okay, password I'm going to give the token which I've created now. Username I need to give it my username, okay, account username. So in case you have to give your username and the token, okay. So simply in the credentials, and I'm going to paste it over here, and the name ID which I'm going to call this one later on. So the ID I'm going to give it over here. Give it as GitHub. So you can give it anything. Just I'm going to copy and paste it over here. So what we have given a username, and that instead of password of our account we have given the token. Okay, create this world. So what happened, it has created now. Okay, so what happened, we have added one GitHub token. So now what we will do it, if you check over here in the pipeline syntax, it is giving as red color, right? As I'm going to select this credentials, right? Let me refresh one more time, review this, right? Refresh and go over here, git, and I need to give the repository one more time, and let me go to repositories. My repository is private over here. Then I'm going to copy over here, right? And I'm going for Jenkins, paste it over here, right? So it's showing that it's in the red color, no problem. So I need to give the branch as well. The branch of my repository is main, right? You need to give the same name over here. Still it's saying red color, right? As I'm going to add this GitHub token, it will authenticate, the error will be disappear. Okay, so now I'm going to generate pipeline script. Okay, so I'm going to add this one into my Jenkins file. Okay, so let me go to the Jenkins. Okay, and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, so first only one stage we are going with the git clone. Okay, so let me do, and the any I'm going to use agent because I don't have Jenkins master slave concept. Okay, so on the master itself only I have to run all the pipelines. Okay, if you have any master slave configuration setup on your Jenkins, then you can call the slave on which are the node, you can say node, and you can call this pipeline to be run on that Jenkins slave. Okay, so apply, save, and let me trigger this pipeline, and let's check out what will be the result of this. You must to post item from skid, you need to pass project token, authenticated API, see this, okay, no problem. Because we have taken some time, right? So let me go over here, and if you check it over here, it's saying that the stage has been cloned. So if I open one over here and check, let me go and check what workspace has been cloned, right? The pipeline will be stored over here, all the data. If you check it over here, all the code from my GitHub has been cloned, but instead of being my repository as private with the access token, right? GitHub access token we have validated. Now one stage we have done already. Now remaining stage we need to go and configure. Okay, for that I need to go over here, right? I need to go over here, I need to remove everything. So now what we will do it, we will add multiple stages to this pipeline. Okay, so let me below this and go to my pipeline which I have over here, which you will be finding in my repository as well. So if you check it over here, all this has been added. Okay, so just simply what, if you check over here, you're going to find that I have added the stages, right? 19 with the post build action. So let me paste it over here, everything. Okay, so let me zoom as well. So what I'm defining over here is that I'm defining JDK version. JDK is saved into the global tools, right? Let me show you the tools as well. Let me go to the tools, tool sessions. We will verify everything, right? SonarQube has been added with the Sonar scanner. Okay, so that, let me just, so I'm defining Sonar scanner over here, and the name which I'm going to use as SonarQube. Okay, and I have used GitHub token where I have added the credentials of my GitHub token. Okay, GitHub token in order to, here I have added Sonar token, right? So okay, so what we need to do, we need to add the quality gate of SonarQube as well. This part we have missed. So let me go to the SonarQube and I've go the configuration. I'm going for the webhook. So what's the basically I'm going to define over here is, let me go over here, apply, right, so that it should not missed out. So if you check it over here, the stage I'm saying that whenever the code has been scanned from the GitHub, from our SonarQube server, right? So what will happen? We should receive one webhook stating that the stage is passed, quality gate stage is passed or fail in case of anything. So here I'm saying that the stage I have fixed as the sonar quality gate as a false. Okay, so that means instead of our failure of our pipeline, in case of failure of our SonarQube scan, so still my pipeline should not stop. Okay, so if you keep it true, that means if my sonar scan has been failed, that means the pipeline will be stopped. Okay, in our use case we are keeping as a safe. Okay, simply what I'm going to do it, I'm going over here and I'm going to create one webhook. Okay, I'm going to give it as Jenkins, right? Here I need to give URL. Okay, simply the URL of my Jenkins is over here. Copy and go and paste it. Okay, after that I need to give it as SonarQube have webhook. Okay, slash over here, and let me cross check what I have set over here in the progress document. SonarQube and webhook. Okay, let me cross check over here. That's fine, we have given correct. Okay, secret, I no need to pass any secrets over here. Okay, so just I'm going to click create. So what happened, we have created one webhook. Okay, so that webhook also is clear, don't worry to do anything. So let's go to the pipeline. So let me go to the pipeline. So what happened, we have added everything, and over here what we will do it, we will request one NVD API. Okay, so if you check it over here, what happened? We have done one NVIDIA API key we have created. Okay, what we have created is that why we have created this, right? The first point is that if you are not taking the API request from a national vulnerability database, that it will take a lot of time to be publicly, right, to fetch all the database from dependency check database, right, NVD, and store in your server side. To minimize the time, we are creating one API. That API we are going to use in our Jenkins files to trigger to access our database, communicate with the database of NVD, and to interact with that to minimize our time. Okay, and they will give you the one URL. In that URL, I can go and I can create one API request. Okay, so if I'm going for the national vulnerability database, if you check over here, it's saying that you have to pass over here. I'm giving just random LLC. Okay, name, email address. I'm going to give it as Asim, right? Sorry, I'm going to give it as Muhammad, right? Email address. Then I'm going to check it as personal, not listed, because it's not listed company. So I'm going to give it cloud awesome. That's fine. Then afterwards, scroll down over here. It's saying that I'm going to agree the term and conditions. So I'm going to use submit over here. As I enter submit over here, one API will be generated from this database NVD. They will give us one. Let me cross check what happened. So it's loading, right? It's in the progress. API key has been requested. Let's say what API key will be generated that we can use it. Even you can use this API. This is public API. Don't worry about that. You can use in your project, and I will not be revoking this one. Okay, because it does not contain any sensitive information related to my channel or related to me. Okay, it has prompted that thank you. In a few minutes, check your email for the link to activate and view your NVD API key. Okay, So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open email address over here, right? Okay, if I check it over here, I receive an API, right? Which API I'm going to use to call, right? To call in this. So in this case, what they said that please use this link to activate your API key. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this so that it can activate my API key and it can give me the API key that I'm going to use it. Okay. So API key has been added. I'm going to copy over here and I'm going to paste in my document, right? So this is done. After that, what we require, we need to go and configure multiple secrets as well. Okay. So if you check it over here, we are creating our Docker container as well. For that, I need to go and create uh, add Docker, right? Docker credential into security, right? So for that, I'm going to go in the manage Jenkins. Here in the I know to go for the credentials. In the credentials, what I'm going to do it, I'm going to add new credentials over here. The credential will be user and the password, right? In the username, what I'm going to do it, ID, I'm going to paste it over here. I'm going to give it as Docker, right? And username, I need to give it over here. Just go for the Docker Hub, your account. If you don't have account, you can create a Docker Hub account over here. This is my account, right? Where I have over here. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to copy the username of this one. Okay. So just paste into my credentials, username. I need to give the password over here of your Docker account, right? Docker Hub account. So I'm going to save it over here. So Docker, everything has been created. Okay. So what happened? We have added the credentials of Docker Hub. Okay. If you check the pipeline over here, right? So what we required, we need to add post build actions. Okay, whenever my pipelines get triggered, that means I need the mail notification stating that this pipeline has been successfully done or failed or aborted. Okay, for that I required one SMTP server. Okay, so basically in our project, as I mentioned, that we are going to use Gmail as SMTP server. So let's configure that Gmail as well. Okay, so you need to go for Gmail account. This is my Gmail account. So for that use case, I'm going into the Gmail account. Then I will be going to the manage accounts, right? In this manage account, there you need to add over here, add app passwords, right? App password. So if you come over here, in the prerequisite, you should have multi-factor authentication on your on your Gmail account, and it will ask you to reconfirm your password before heading towards here. So I'm going to give it over here, Hotstar, right? So Hotstar, I'm going to create one app password. Okay, this app key password I'm going to store over in my document. Okay, and this one will be revoked after this video. Okay, so I'm not going to blur or encrypt this one as well. Okay. So I have pasted over here my token, right? This token I'm going to access and save inside my settings, right? Where I need to configure that. So for that use case, what I'm going to go back again to the manage Jenkins, right? I'm going to go for system where I need to configure SMTP, right? So let me go into the below over here. Yes, you're going to find email notification over here. Okay. For the email notification, what you need to do it, you need to pass the details over here. Okay, let me show you that as well. So first thing what we need to do, we need to give smtp.gmail as smtp server. Then in the suffix, I'm going to give it as gmail.com. Then in the advanced, if we edit over here, I'm going with the SMTP authentication, right? Because I have the username, I have the token which I have created now, right? App password. So I'm going to give in my email address on which this token has been created. Okay. .com. The password I need to pass, right, the token which I have created. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it. Okay, in this I'm going to use SSL. The port number I need to go for 465. Okay, then email I'm going to give it, if somebody replied to me, right, I'm going to give it as my email address. So I should receive the reply of any email. So, and added all the credentials. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to authenticate and check, does this setup, the authentication which I've added, is it working or not, right? So I'm going to send one test mail stating checking out over here. Okay, test configuration. So email was successfully done. That means my credentials is being worked. This port number already we have opened, as you remember, while setting one our virtual machine. Now, in order to use this push build action, I need to configure one more area. Okay. For that, if I go over here, you will be finding extended email notification. This plugin will be installed when you are using for default installation plugins from Jenkins, right? Initial setup of Jenkins. Okay. Here I need to give, as I mentioned, smtp@gmail.com. I'll be pasting over here. The port number I'm going to go with 587. This is the port number being used. Okay. And suffix I'm going for the Gmail. Here what you need to do, you need to just pass your credentials. Okay. Advanced setting. The credential, not direct hard coded. Okay. As we mentioned given below, we need to add the credentials over here. For that, I'm going to check on the Jenkins, right? And I'm going to username, you know very well. Let me just add the username is my email address, right? The token I need to pass one more time over here. The token which I have over here is F, right? Paste it over here. The ID I'm going to give it later on, which I'm going to call it, right? smtp.gmail. Okay. Description also I'm going to give it same way. Sorry, smtp gmail. Okay. So if I cross check my pipeline, right, where I'm going to call this using the credentials, right, the same credentials. Okay, that's fine. So let's save it. So in the drop down, when you're going to check over here, you're going to find SMTP Gmail credentials, which just now I have saved. Okay, here I'm going to go with TLS. Okay, later on I need to add anything over here. 587. Okay, 587 port number I already have given, and I have opened this port number as well in the while creation of virtual machine. Okay, don't get confused. And default email suffix, as I mentioned, that I need to give it email@gmail.com. Everything I'll be keeping here, and I'm going to apply and save it. Okay, so as per my pipeline, right, and the pipeline, I have added all the stages, all setups like server, credential, Docker, and everything. So what I'm going to do it now, just I'm going to trigger this pipeline and check out is my stage is getting paused or fail. Okay, even I should receive the email alerts as well. Okay, so let me go over here. Let me cross check one more time the pipeline script. So pipeline script is available. So let me trigger now configure. Okay, sorry, let me just build now. Okay, so the build has been initiated, and let me go and check what mistake we have done. Okay, so let me go and console output. So it's saying is Hotstar Groovy node.js node. Okay, let me cross check what tool we have set up, right? So let me go to the dashboard and manage Jenkins tools. Oh, sorry. I have to rename as node. Okay. So I have done this mistake. It should be node. Okay. Not node.js. So let me apply and save it. So the mistake what I have done is that I have added node over there. Okay, so let me trigger one more time the pipeline. So let me go over here and let us cross check this. Okay, so declare to tools installation is in progress. That means the configuration which we have fixed now, that is working fine. Okay, if we check out over here, the pipeline which we have triggered, right, the build 3, that has been failed. So let us review what is caught. The installation of tool was successful. Clean workspace was fine. Git checkout is fine. SonarQube analysis also fine. So let's go and check one by one. So if I check the SonarQube, right, first I'll check the SonarQube. Which stages has been passed, that we will check it out. Which stage has been failed, that we will fix it later on. Okay. So SonarQube has been successfully passed. Okay. So for that, I'm going to go with over here. And when I'm going to click on this project, right, and I'm going to find that one project has been created like 5 minutes ago, right? Here the Hotstar, if you open here, you're going to find that there is a one bug, right? One vulnerability, three security hotspot, and two code smell, and there is no coverage of unit test because the developer have not write any unit test for the JavaScript, right? Like Jacaco is used to write unit testing, right? Duplication of code is 0, and the code line has been scanned, right? And if you check it over here, there is the uh, overview of SonarQube scan. Okay, so these issues, if you check over here, there is a multiple issues like restricted IP address, authorization to access administration service, this position, this everything will be shared to developer. Developer will fix, and we will intimate us to the DevOps team to run this SonarQube stage one more time. Okay. So if we check the security hotspot, this also will be the same thing. This will be shared with a team. Okay. If we check it over here, measures, code, activities, and how many time of code we have, right? Everything like 872 line, you have 900. Okay. So this all will be shared to the developer. As I mentioned, that developer will fix it, and he will intimate the our DevOps team guys, and we will run this stage one more time, and we'll make sure that it has to be 0. The reason is that we require code is a source code is a heart of our project, right? Our application. So it should be clean. There should be no vulnerabilities, issues, measures, and code smells in our code, and we will make sure that it should not be any vulnerabilities attached to our codes. Okay, and let's go and review the second stage. If you check it here, the code, this also we receive the quality from the sonar scanner stating that the code has been passed. Okay, then afterward we have installed the dependencies of npm install, because this is not just application, basically the next.js application JavaScript. So the Trivy scan has been done successful. So if I check, let me open this in one more tab over here, right? So let me open this one in one more tab, and let me go to the workspace, right? If you go to the workspace, so if the stage is fine, then then I should find one Trivy dot 𝗘𝗱-𝗁𝗃 file. Okay, so I'll be showing you this as well. So that's fine. Trivy is successful. Then afterwards, it has created one Docker image, build and push to Docker Hub, right? So in this case, I'm going to go for my Docker account and I'm going to refresh over here. Okay, let me refresh. When I'm going to refresh over here, I'm going to find one Docker image with the name of Hotstar, okay, which I just received 5 minutes ago, right? So that means recently it has pushed. So let me go and cross check one more stage over here. So Trivy Docker scan, that also is available, I have shown, and deploying to container, okay. That means it's already deployed to container. Our application has been Dockerized and has been deployed to our application. So how do we access that? I'm going to use this and I'm going to go over here. My application is accessible by 3000 port number. So if you check it, your application is accessible, right? So the motive was to create the container and deploy the container and check the functionality of our application, right? So that is successful now. So that means our Docker container is working fine and we are able to access our application. That means this stage is passed. That means the Kubernetes stage has to be passed. Whenever we are going to deploy this container into the Kubernetes cluster, that that should be accessible and that should be functional, okay? Because in the local testing also we have done successful, and we have created a Docker container as well and we have tested that Docker container is accessible, okay? So if you review over here, everything is fine. We are able to find all the films over here, okay? So this stage is also cleared. So the next stage is saying that post build action. That means one email has been sent to our email address, okay? So if I'm going and refreshing over here, you're able to find that the stage is saying that this is Jenkins Hotstar CI/CD pipeline, and this pipeline project is Hotstar. Build number is 3, right? Let me cross check. The build number is 3, right? That's fine. And this is failure, that's fine. It's also failure, that's fine, it's failed. And it's saying that started by admin because I have triggered from GUI of Jenkins, right? It's not pushed by any code from the GitHub, right? So that's also fine. And it has added 2 files. If I click on this file, right, if I unzoom it so that it should align, okay, if you check it over here, it's saying that some of the library that need to be fixed, that has vulnerabilities, right? And the version which we are using in our project is 4.31. It can be fixed with the version of 4.32. Okay, meanwhile if you check, all this has been given, like EJS Express is being used, where application send is used, webpack is used, WS used. This all libraries which is being used over our application, that needs to be updated with this version, okay? This file we will be sending to developer team as well, okay? So they will update this Jenkins version, sorry, this version of this libraries, and we will run as a DevOps team or the DevOps engine. We will run this stage of Trivy once again to make sure this all to be fixed and there should be no vulnerabilities should be find in our application, okay? So if you check over here, it's saying that 31, it should be 0, okay? But the best thing is that there is no security secrets has been exported in our code level, okay? So that is 0. So this has to be also 0, okay? So this is fine. So this has been done. And if you check another file over here, so it's file basically a Docker container which we have scanned, okay? It's coming with the package, vulnerabilities are 0, and this is fine, everything fine. So this, as I mentioned, that this will be forward to developer and developer will fix everything, okay? So this stage also done. So we have reviewed everything. So all is working, only one stage has been filed. So let me go to the this and we will check it out what caused us to check it, okay? So if I'm going on the dependency check, so no vulnerabilities has been found, okay? It's also done, but why it's failing? Console output, let me go over here. Directory is fine, git is done, SonarQube is fine. NPM installation is fine. unpacking Jimmy role. Oh, that's fine. Then after one NVD uncompromised option we are using. So it's saying that the stage what we have added that's causes a failure, right? So we can fix this with this one. Really what I'm going to do it. Trivy is fine, push is fine. I'm going to delete this container which I have in our which has created on our virtual machine. So if I say Docker, if you hit it Docker PS over here, is showing that one Docker container is created. So what I'm going to do, Docker stop. The name of the container is the star, no Hotstar. Let me check the name of the container is Hotstar. So I'm going to stop this Docker container. Then I'm going to delete this Docker container. Okay. The reason is that I want to comply the remaining, right, remaining stages as well. So now what happened? Let's team. We have added the APIs over here, right? So this has been added over here. So let me just trigger this pipeline and try out. If in case of this is successful, we will proceed further. If in case of any failure also, we will skip this test. Okay. So if you're failing also, don't worry, because there is some issues with this repository. They have migrated this repository to one end to second end. Okay. We are starting this pipeline completely from the starting. Okay. So that we are declaring the tools and everything, right? So the part what we think that I have added API in the wrong way. It's supposed to be capital A. Okay. So I believe that this will fix this issue. Yes, it has started. It has validated my API. Now it's starting to download the database from NVD, sorry, national vulnerability data, which is based on the data. It will scan our repository dependencies and everything for our application. Okay, so it will take some time, guys. So we will wait for this as well. If we check it over here, guys, our stage has been successfully completed everything. If I'm checking the logs also, I'm able to find that this has been scanned and all thing has been successfully done. Okay. So let me click on this console output, right? Let me click on this and go for the console output. You're able to find that it has downloaded, right? All NVD, just let me show you that it has downloaded all the database. Then it has created, it has scanned our repository, right? It has analyzed, started, finished Node.js package because we are using Next.js application, right? We have a source code. Then it has created one file as well. So if I'm going over here and if I'm going for the DPS check over here, you're able to find that one file is created, right? So file is created. That file we can review as well. Okay, dependency check. It's saying that one server vulnerability is given, 20 normal, one critical, one high, and what 424 is medium. This also list will be shared with the developer. Developer will fix this one and he will intimate our DevOps team. So DevOps team will run this again in the pipeline and will make sure this has to be everything zero, or else there should be proper answer to skip this vulnerabilities. Okay. Team, now what we have done, we have deployed our application as a Docker container, right? So now the next step, what we need to do is that if you check our workflow, right? As I mentioned that what we have done up to now, we have deployed as a Docker container, we have scanned and deployed as a Docker container. I have checked our functionality of Docker container as well. That is, application has been Dockerized and is accessible through web user. Now what we need to do, we need to deploy this container, right? Container into AWS EKS cluster. Basically, it is Elastic Kubernetes Service, right? Where is a managed service by AWS, where you can manage your cluster after deploying your application, right? So AWS provides us this service EKS, where it provides you to manage your cluster and nodes and everything, right? So for that use case, what we need to do, we required AWS configure. That means we required user of AWS, CLI user, access key and secret access key. But we need to go and create in AWS account. Okay. For that, let me switch to AWS account, where I'm going to search as IAM. Then I'm going to click on the user. In the user session, I need to create the user. I don't have any user here. So I'll be giving as just as a Hotstar user. Then I'll be proceeding next. Then proceeding next. Then I need to, sorry, just I missed out. Well, guys, I need to create the user. Let's create user. I need to give the name of Hotstar user. Then next, here I need to attach some policy directly. Okay, predefined policies. First, I'm going to add administration access. Then I'm going to add as EC2 full access. I'm going to add IAM full access. Then you need to have VPC access as well. VPC full access. Then I should have cloud formation template, which we are using to create EKS, right? Cloud formation full access. So how many we have? We attach 5. So I'll be clicking for this next, right? And these are the 5 list of 5 policies, predefined policies from AWS that I need to provide for my user. Okay, create user. User is getting created. So now when I'm going opening this user, so I don't have any keys to connect to this outside of my virtual machine or Linux. So I'll be clicking on this create. So create access keys, click on the command line interface, then information, then next. So what will happen after creation, you will be getting 2 keys over here. Okay, these 2 keys you need to copy in your document for references. Okay, so I'll be going with the process document. Let me just copy, just a second. Yes, I'll be deleting this and I'm going to paste it over here, right? So don't worry about this will be revoked after this video is published. So for the practice, I'm just giving a visual, right? So you don't need to worry. So first key is a secret access key, sorry, secret key. The second is secret access key. So for that, I need to go to my virtual machine and I will need to go it AWS configure, right? It will ask you to insert your access key. So I'll be giving, paste it over here, hit enter. That's fine. Then afterwards, it will ask me to give secret access key, right? So for that, I'm going to go and I have what I have created. I'll be using these keys and I'll be pasting over here again. Hit enter. So default region, I'll keep it default, everything default. So AWS configure, that credential have been added. Now what we will do it, we will create the EKS cluster. What we will do, I will go from our repository, right, in this here over here. Then I'll be just clicking on this, so it will open all my document, right? We have added everything, EKS is done, so AWS CLI is already executed. So now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to just create the cluster. Okay, so if you check it over here, like, so what we create user is done, role attached. Okay, just I'm going to copy this and paste, execute this command, where I'm going to clear the cluster name with the Hotstar cluster. Okay, so pre-request already has been installed AKS as in the initial setup of our virtual machine, we have installed AWS CLI, kubectl, and EKS as well. Okay, this three has been already installed on our virtual machine, right? So simply what I'm going to do it, I'm going to copy the command over here, right? And I'm going to execute from my terminal. So paste it over here. I will hit enter. So EKS command is not found. So what we will do is one more time we will execute the script over here, that is for EKSCTL, right? So simply I'll be using EKSCTL and I will install over here. That's fine. EKS is installed now, right? So customized version is there, everything is fine. So why it's not installing? Just me paste over here. EKSCTL will create the constraint. Yes, it will start creation. Yes, now it started. What we have done, we have installed the EKS CTL one more time, right? So that I think that was missed from us to execute the script. So it has started creating the EKS cluster. It will take 5 to 10 minutes, so we have to wait in order to proceed, right? Meanwhile, what we will do, guys, we will go and we will create one monitoring server as well. Okay, for that use case, we will go over here. Then I'll be going to Jenkins server. Then I'm going to create one more new pipeline. Okay, so I'll be giving a monitoring server. Then I'm going to check as pipeline script over here, and I'm going to mention a monitoring, right? Monitoring server. I'll be keeping as to build over here. Then configure. Then afterwards, if I'm going over here down, then I have already a script written over here, right? So for that use case, what I'm going to do it, just I'm going to go to over here. Then I'm going for Terraform, right? In the Terraform, I have one Jenkins file. I need to copy this Jenkins files, right? Paste it over here, right? So if you check it over here, what I have specified over here, right? So let's check it over here. So simply what I'm going to do it, I'm going to use parameter build. Okay. With the parameter build, what I'm going to do it, let me just remove this parameter as well. So we don't require this, manually we will set it out. Okay, so if you check it over here, first thing I'm going to add in the environment access key and secret access key without exposing on our Jenkins pipeline, right? Check pipeline script. So simply I'm saying that git checkout, when you go in this branch over here, then you install Terraform version, then you go with Terraform install in the directory, right? Directory name is Terraform because the code is in Terraform directory. Okay, then afterwards use in the backend our access key, secret access key, in order to create the resources in our account, and then it will validate everything. Terraform plan will be done and Terraform apply and destroy based on use case. Post action will be echo if it is successful, if it failure it will be failure. Okay, so what we need to do it, we need to add this in the security keys. Okay, for that what I'm going to do it, I'm going to go for uh, here I'm going to open one more here. Let me apply this. Okay, here I need to go into the manage Jenkins, then I'll be going over here in this credentials where I'm going to add secret access key and secret key and secret access key, where I need to go and add credentials over here. Then I'm going to add as secret text, guys. In the secret text, I'm going to give it as sorry as ID as secret access key ID, and secret key ID I have already pasted over here. So just I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it, right? And the description also I'll be going the same way. Okay, so I'm going to create this. The one more what we required to create secret access key as well. Okay, secret access key. For that I'm going to add new credentials. Then I'll be going with the secret text. in the description I'm going to give it secret access key, here also secret access key, and I'm going to give the value of secret access key over there, right? So just I'm going to save it over here, the id I have given and the save over, right? So what happened, the prerequisite of this is completed. Just I need to go over above and I need to go with the parameterized build. Okay, this project is parameterized. Then I'm going to go with choice parameterized. Name I'm going to give it as action. In the choices I'm going to give is apply. Then I'm going to give it destroy, right? Apply and destroy action. I'm going to add it this for monitoring server setup, right? So just I'm going to apply and save it. Okay, so what happened, if you go in the configure, if I review over here, what I've done, I made this uh, pipeline as parameterized. So when I'm going to check it out, execute this parameter build, then it's going to ask me either I'm going to create the resources or destroying the resources, right? So for the below, if I'm going over here, I've already added this in AWS vault, that is secret vault, where I'm going to store the credentials. Everything is fine, everything is fine, this is fine. Now let us review what is there in main.tf. In the main.tf, I'm saying that I'm creating the resources in cloud and the version is 5.0. Then I'm going with the provider AWS. Then AP South 1 zone I have selected. Then I'm going with the var access key, right? Var access key. Then I'm going to select var.secret access key, right? So this has been added. Then I'm opening one port, SSH port, then egress, then monitoring security group, it's setting, and then I'm going to use T2 medium, guys. Okay. In the output, I'm just want the IP address of the server so that I can access independently or checking out AWS console. Okay. Variables, in the variables, I have already given this is variable as Terra, default insert, default insert. Okay. So this is fine. Don't miss to add the key name as well. Okay, so whichever key you are going to call from this, you need to have one. So that simply what you do, if you don't have as well, you can go over here, uh, security key, sorry, secure key pairs, and just go for create over here and give the name as Terra. Okay, that's it, and click create pair. Okay, so I have already existed, but in your case, you'll be finding this key before creating this EC2 instance. Okay, so let us go and check that pipeline. So we review everything. Let us save, exit. Then I'm going with the build with parameter. Okay, then it's asking I'm going to apply or destroy. So I'm going to say apply build. So now let us wait and check out that is our pipeline will be passed or it will fail. Okay, so it says that Terraform version has been initialized. If you check the log, you say that Terraform 1.11.2 is done. Then after it's saying Terraform validate is being done, right? It's validating the resources. Let us console output open. Validate is done. It's accessing what access key. Okay, it'll be created. Subnet is getting created, and all the steps has been creating. Okay, so in the few seconds you're able to find that this pipeline is getting paused. Okay, so it's applying the resources. IP also has given over here. So if you check the console over here, it's saying that it is successfully executed. Okay, so that in this case, if it is successfully executed, we should able to find one AWS server in this our account, right? One more account which is open running with the name as monitoring server, right? So if I click on EC2 instance, you're able to find, right, monitoring server is up and running. Okay, monitoring server is up and running, and the resources of that is already there. That is 13 to 65. Okay, so let us copy over here. It has been created as per our requirement. So I'll be going over here and I'll be accessing SSH and pasting over here. Then I'm going to select Ubuntu. Then I'm going to give the key over here, right? The key which I have attached over here. Let me go and cross check my pipeline over here. I have given Terra, right? So let me cross check over here where I have stored that. Let me go, it's in the download folder, right? Where I have used, let me go with the name as 𝗘𝗗𝗃, right? So I'm using this key. Just I'm going to go and that's fine. We are able to log in over here. So let me just rename this as well as monitoring server, right? So that we should not get confused. That's fine. So meanwhile, what we will do it, I have already logged in over here. Let me open the security group as well. For if I go for monitoring server here, if I check it over here, the security group, and the security group, if you click over here, I need to open the ports over here, right? Where I'm going to access our applications, right? So now let us go and check that what is being created. Still it's going with this flow. If you check it over, it's saying that AWS ECLS Cloud Cluster 4 is created, right? And 2 nodes already been created. Okay, so let's go and verify with this part, right? If I'm going for EC2, right? EC2 instances, then I should be able to see 2 instances being created, right? So instance is created with the name of cluster node, right? So let me just yes, 2 nodes have been created. What if I am going to go and check out uh, EKS, right? Where I'm going to check the clusters. So if you check the cluster over here, you will to find that one cluster with the cloud ASIM cluster 4 has been created, right? So this is with the version, which version? 1.30, and the status is active. Update side is node healthy is fine. This is healthy, and API endpoint server is also given, right? Certificate of authorization is given. All the things has been given over here, right? So the EKS cluster has been set up. Now what we will do it, we will just go inside over here, right? Over here, and what we will do it, we will create one file, or else what we will do it, we will go inside, just a second, cd over here, ln, right? Let me go inside this KX, right? So we already cleared the cluster. Now if you check over here, I have manifest file over here, right? In the manifest file, I have created what I'm saying, I have defined 2 things. First, I have deployed deployment, right? Instead of creating deployment.yml and service.yml, I have defined only one file in the file, that is manifest.yml. I'm going to go with the deployment. Okay, then I'm giving the deployment at a Hotstar deployment. Then I need minimum 2 replica set, and I'm going for the rolling update. So whenever you're going to update your containers, that can be rolled up. Okay, I'm app name Hotstar. Then I'm going to give it this image which I have pushed to Docker Hub, right? So if I go for the Docker Hub, right, I have this name, right? 𝗲𝗃 19 Hotstar. Let me validate that with this. Yes, 𝗲𝗃 19 Hotstar. I'm on container port number I'm giving as 3000, right? Then next step, I'm defining service as well. Service, I'm saying that load balancer to be service, because I'm going to access my application with the load balancer. The reason is that whenever you create your new pods, right, nodes, or the IP will be changed. Okay, so instead of accessing the node IP, your application with the node IP, you can access with the load balancer irrespective of destroying your pods, creating of new pods, Okay, so that does not differ change on your IP address. So the best practice is to access your application with load balancer of AWS. Okay, so just what I'm going to do it, I'm going to apply this one. Okay, so for that use case, I'm inside this file. So what I'm going to do it, simply I'm going to use the command, right, kubectl manifest.yml. Okay, so let me go and let me zoom out. I will paste it over here and I will hit enter. Right, you should execute where you have your file exist, right? So it's saying that deployment dot app in Hotstar deployment created. Okay, and service also created with the name service created, right? So how do we check out now what is there? kubectl get all. Let's check it out with the all command. So it's taking bit time, just wait. So see, let me just give one more time. Okay, so if you check the command with the kubectl get all, right? So one service is created with the external IP address, that is load balancer, right? And the port map is 82, this port number, and its age of just now we have created, right? 36 seconds. And if you check it in the service, Kubernetes has been created, cluster IP with this one, right? And then the deployment, we have 2 by 2, 2 is updated, 2 is available, and age is 38 seconds, right? We say replica set of 2, right? And the replica set is, as I mentioned, that I have set 2 desired, current is 2, and ready is 2, right? So we can fetch everything. Here also is saying there's 2 pods had been created. One pod ID is this one, right? And the second ID is over here. Okay, this two. Now let's go and access our application with load balancer. Okay, so let me copy over here and I will go to the browser and I will paste it over here and hit enter. So I should be able to access my application with load balancer. Okay, so see, you're going to find your application with load balancer, right? That's fine. Now the point is there, as I mentioned in the starting of our video, right? So what do you mean by Kubernetes auto healing, right? So let me kill one of this uh, kubectl, right? As I mentioned that I have mentioned uh, kubectl destroy, and I'm going to take one pod IP. Sorry, let me just take it over here. Deployment.yml. Let me take first kubectl, right? Kubectl. Let us check the pods first. Kubectl get pods, right? So with this command, we can get the running pods, right? Which is over here. When we say the functionality of Kubernetes to auto scale and auto heal, right? What does it mean? So let's check out that functionality use case as well. Kubectl get pod, right? So how many pods do we have? As we have mentioned in the replica set of 2, right? So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to one kill this one pod, right? For that command is kubectl delete pod, right? And the pod name. So simply I'm going to go over here, kubectl paste, and I'm going to give the pod name. Okay, the pod is name is over here, and let me paste it to here. Okay, if you check over here, the age is 5 minutes 44 seconds. So as you hit enter, so this pod will be deleted. Okay, so see the pod hotstar gr is getting deleted. That means I have deleted intentionally. It can be caused by load on your pod from the external of your client access, right? Somebody's your user has been increases, but in the functionality of the pod of your misconfiguration can be delete your pods as well. So in this case, the Kubernetes should auto heal and it should make 2 now, right? Because in the configuration we said minimum 2, right? So let me cross check now how many pods I have after deleting this one pod intentionally, right? So if you hit enter, I should be able to see one pod, but it's giving me two pods. See, one is created 6.50 ago and one is created 37 seconds, and is the name is new one. If you check over here, this name is been replaced with this. That means Kubernetes automatically it has healed and matched our given configuration that minimum two pods should be available. Okay, this functionality also we have tested that Kubernetes why is being used as auto healing and auto scaling irrespective of your traffic coming to your application. Okay, so this fine, and what we have done now is that my application is being accessed through URL, right? Through URL. Mention that we are going to, as per our architectural drawing, what we are going to do it, we are going to add this into Kubernetes cluster. Sorry, we need to add the load balancer into one domain, right? So I have hosting where I have hosting in our Cloudflare. This is my account where I have one domain, right? Domain, and then I will go for DNS. Guys, what we need to do is we will be creating one subdomain and we are going to add this load balancer to our domain, right? So in this case, I'm going to go for CNAME entry, right? And then I'm going to go as Hotstar. Then I'm going to give the URL, right? From here, I'm going to copy, guys. Okay, I no need to add HTTP, right? Because I'll be accessing through HTTPS. Okay, this been added, then I'm going to save it, right? It will take few seconds and it will be up and running. Now what happened, I can access this with what hotstar dot, let me just give it hotstar star dot cloudasim.com. If you hit enter, right, if you check it over here, I'm able to access my application with my domain, right? So if you check it over here also, I have applied proxy that SSL certification has been complied to it. If you check it over here, right, if you go over here, guys, so I'm able to find that this connection is secure and this has been provided by the authority of Google authority. Okay, SSL certification has been applied to this. So this part, everything has been combined now. Just we need to go and enable the monitoring, right? As I mentioned that we need to enable the monitoring part. So for that part, what we need to have, we need to have one Prometheus and Grafana, right? We already have created one EC2 instance, right? With that EC2 instance, I have over here where I'm going to switch to root user and I'm going to install Grafana and Prometheus in order to monitor our website, right? So let me go and open my GitHub repository over here, and I will be going to the scripts. In the script, guys, I have Grafana script. So just I'm going to copy over here, and I'm going to create one file, right? Nano grafana.sh. Okay. So I'll be pasting over here and control X Y. Script has been added. Now if I ls over here, it's not executable file. So I have to give it shmod plus x executable permission to this file, right? So what I'm going to do it now, if you this file is now executable, right? So just I'm going to install Grafana with the script. Okay, so script is getting install. Meanwhile, what we will do, we will go and we will go to configure Prometheus, guys. Prometheus dot download, right? I need to install Prometheus on my virtual machine, that is Linux, right? So for that, I need to copy the link over here. Let's wait so that it can be executed. Okay, system. Now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to just go and take the IP address of this monitoring server, right, which is from AWS. Let me take monitoring server over here, then IP address. Then I'm going to paste in 3000 port number, right? Default it will be 3000, sorry, with the 3000 port number. And you're able to find that this is not accessible because we have not enabled the security group. Meanwhile, what I will do it, I will open one security as 3000, right, in the monitoring server, right, and cedar block, and I will be adding Grafana. So now if you check it over here, now you should able to find Grafana service accessible. Okay, so you find over here is the Grafana is being accessible, right? So by default, this email, password, everything is admin, right? Admin. When you're going to log in onto here, it will ask you to create one more password. Okay, so our Grafana is already set up. Now we require Prometheus. All right, we need Prometheus to in order to uh, fetch the metrics from one node exporters, right? So for that use case, what I'm going to do it, I'm going over here, then I'm going to switch to Prometheus. As I mentioned that I'm going to copy, say copy link, and I'm going to use wget, hit enter, paste it, and hit enter over here. So it will fetch the dot tar.gz, that is zip file. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to tar 𝗬𝗃 and the name of the Prometheus, hit enter. So what we are doing, we are untarring, let me just check it over here. We have untarred this Prometheus, right? So let me go inside this Prometheus, right? And if you LL over here, you should be able to find that one service, that is prometheus.yml is there. Inside that you have Prometheus. What we'll do it, we will install one tool so that we can check on which port number is Prometheus is up and running, right? So it's saying that I don't have these tools installed, so I'll say that please install over here and hit enter. Okay, so let me state over here, let's start, right? Let me unzoom and here. So it's saying that Grafana is installed on 3.2.8.7. That's fine. In Prometheus, I have not yet started, right? So I'll be using and here and Prometheus, right? Then I'll be using and to run in the background, hit enter. So if I hit exit, then I can net start over here, and it's running on 9. Prometheus is running on which server is running on 9090. So I need to open these ports as well. So let me go into the security group over here, which I have just opened. So I'll be opening port number 9090 for Prometheus, right? So hit save rule. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to copy this IP address and I'm going to paste it over here with the 9090 port number, right? So you should be able to find that Prometheus has everything, but if you check in the targets, I don't have any targets have been done. Only I have local metrics, right? If you check the local metrics also, there is no such things. No, fine, don't worry. So what we need to, if you want to check it out over here local, then I need node exported for the installation purpose, right? For that, what I'm going to do it, I'm going into the Prometheus.ai, then I'm going to go for box exporter first, right? Let's go black box exporter, copy link, and I'll be coming to the Ubuntu home directory. Then I'm going to go for wget to download this node exporter, sorry, this black box exporter. So this has been downloaded. So let me tar 𝗖𝗍𝗃 node, right? Sorry, black box exporter. So if you look over here, one directory is created. So let me go into the directory black box. So black box, what will do it will fetch all the traffic which is running on HTTP and HTTPS protocols, right? So if I nano over here, so no, that's fine. So now what I'm going to do is that let me go over here back to, did I started any service over here? No, I have not started. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start this black box exporter as well in the backgrounds, right? Okay, fine. If I want to net start over here on which port number that is accessible, that means it's showing going to display you 9115. So 915 also I'll be opening over here. Okay, in the security view. Add rule 99115, and then I'm going to give it over here. Then I'm going to say as black box, right? Black box, save enter. We added the security group over here, right? So let's go and access even the black box. So if I'm going to give it as black box, you're able to find that there is a black box exporter has been installed and can be accessible through browser. Now what I need to do I need to add this in my prometheus.yml configuration file. So for that I need to go to directory and I need to go to Prometheus over here. Then inside that I need to open the file prometheus.yml. Okay, in this prometheus.yml I need to pass some details over here. So where is my black box, sorry, black box has been installed. Okay, so for that I have a script, right? So let me just add the script over here. Then I'm going to paste it over here, right? So let me configure probe is fine. I'm going to metrics. I'm going to monitor two things. Okay, so first let me monitor my application which is running on which with the IP and the port number, right? So we have deployed as Docker container as well, right? So let me go and check on which is this is Hotstar, this is load balancer. I guess this is the one, right? So I'm going to copy over here and go back over here and I'm going to paste it here, right? So I need to remove this and even I need to remove this, right? So this is on which my application is running, that is dockerized container, right? And again one more is there on which my application is running. Okay, so for that I need to go with over here and paste it. Okay, so my application is running on which one, let me go and cross check over here. It's running on cloudawesome.com, right? So I'm going to paste it over here and let me just go to my container configuration file, paste here, and I'm going to give it 443. Okay, let me cross check the security group and let me open this file. And on which port number is my black box is running, right? So black box is running on this same vertical same monitoring machine, right? So for that I have one more IP address which is for which on which black box is running. So I'll be copying over here and I'll be pasting over here, right? So it is accessible by IP address. Let me check. I have given over here. I no need to pass anything because it's in the local. So just let me go over here. 915. I've given everything is given. That's fine. So Control Y, hit enter. So now what I'm going to do I'm going to grep the server in order to restart my service, right? So I'm going to use Prometheus, on which so this is a process ID on which our Prometheus is running, right? So if you check it over here, 9166, right? So I'm going to kill that, right? Kill port number and hit enter. So able to find that this Prometheus has been stopped, right? So done, Prometheus has been stopped. Now I have added the configuration on this, right? So I'm going to restart this with the command as Prometheus, right? Then I'm going to add to run this in the background. So hit enter. So now if I'm going to go over here, Prometheus, right? Let me take 2 seconds because it's getting restarted. So you will to find some of this. See what I have added endpoints, right? In this endpoints, we have one is for probe. The second I have over here, right? Then over here is Hotstar 𝗖𝗹𝗃 Then I have over here one is Docker container. Everything the matrix is being collected. So what happen if I go and uh, refresh this? See, I'm going to find that is monitoring this blocks. Black box exporter is monitoring three things. The first is Prometheus.io. Second is my domain. Then third is access is the container IP, right, on which my application is running. So now the point is that I need to add the dashboard over here, right? So for that, I need to go into this. Let me add dashboard. Let me go for the connection in the data source. In that is the add data source. In this, I need to go for Prometheus. Then in the Prometheus, I need to mention on which IP address the Prometheus is running. So I'm going to copy over here. Then I'm going to paste it over here, right? And authentication I don't require because I don't have any password setup on this one, right? When we set up, you can add that as well. Save and test, it has successfully able to fetch Prometheus API. So that is save and tested. That's fine. Now I need to create the dashboard of that, right? Matrix has been added. Now we will add the dashboard over here. So I'm going to click on this. So it's asking me the prompt, right? Share dashboard over here, library, snapshot, playlist. So just I'm going to check this one, right? So for that, I'm going to search for the dashboard folder. So I'm going to click on this new dashboard and it's giving a import. For the import, I need to give the ID over here. So for that, I need to go to Grafana dashboard, right? Here I need to go for black box. So let me search over here, black box exporter, right? So here it's giving me the ID over here, right? So I'm going to take that ID, I'm going to give over here. These are the predefined already set up dashboard which we are going to use it. Even you can create your own, but it will take time. But here you need to select after importing this dashboard from grafana.com. I need to give the data source. Data source I'm going to give it as Prometheus. Whenever you're going to click on this, right? Click of this, you're able to find us 3 probes is being done, right? So let me go over here. So if you check it over here, right, it's saying that this is up and running, status is coming 200, this is coming 200, and hotstar.𝗖𝗹𝗃 also is coming 200. And even it's saying that SSL certification has been complied. For this, there are no SSL certification because it's running on IP address, right? So even it's saying TLS 1.3 expire in 70 days, right? Probe is there and DNS lookup. Okay. Now, if I want to check over here, so it's saying that this is a processing time. So let me just take 5 minutes, right? You're able to find this is the HTTP probe time between the client and server, how much time it has taken. Even if you go for this, here we can fetch because this is running from long time, right? This is basically website of Prometheus.io. So if you check it over here, it's coming from here, right? So this is how you can monitor of your HTTP probe and overview. Even if you want to monitor node exporter, right? You want to check the metrics of your application, right? Which you have the application hosted on your virtual machine, right, which we have configured, then you can follow my video of the previous. There you can follow as an assignment you can do from your end, and let me know that it is completed. And please don't forget to share, subscribe as well. And when you created everything, you need to destroy this. Okay, please guys, you should make sure that whatever resources you have created, you must destroy it. Okay, in order to destroy, first what you need to do it, first you need to go to Jenkins. Let me, monitoring server has been set up. So first we will destroy the uh, monitoring server which we have created, right? So destroy. Then afterwards I'm selecting as build as parameter. I'm clicking build, right? So it will start destroying our created infrastructure on AWS account, right? So basically it's a monitoring server. So if I go over here, and if I refresh over here, see that, right, if the configuration are set up, it should start terminating. So it's monitoring, so it's auto approve. Okay, fine. So let me refresh now over here. So it should print me that is getting destroyed, right? See, and the stopped, if you go for stopping server, right, it has deleted art state. So it's saying monitoring server is getting deleted. Okay, so Jenkins server has done its work, right? It has started destroying every resources what we have created. Okay, let's from here as well, what we'll do, we have created EKS cluster, right guys? We are going to destroy that as well to optimize our cost. There should be no cost after your completion of the project, right? After after deletion of our monitoring server, now what we will do, we will delete our EKS cluster what we have created. Okay, for that I need to copy EKS delete the cluster name which we have created, right? So simply I'll go over here and I'll be pasting over here, and I will hit enter, right? So what will happen, it will interact with our Kubernetes cluster, right? It will start deleting your EKS cluster, cloud awesome cluster 4. Okay, so it has started parallel draining, default kube config has been updated, right? And deleting AKS cluster. So first thing what happened, it has cleaning up the AWS load balancer created by Kubernetes, right? So first we have created as a service, we have created load balancer, right? To find it will delete all the stacks what we have created related to EKS cluster. Okay, team, if you cross check over here, right, so all the resources EKS what we have created, that has been deleted, right? In the end it will say all the cluster resources has been deleted. Let's cross verify from the console, it has been deleted. If you go for the cluster also, it has been deleted now. So now what we will do it, just we are going for the stopped also, right? I have stopped this EC2 instance. I'm going to delete this EC2 instance always also, which I have created for Hotstar application, right? So guys, whatever resources we have created, we have destroyed all the resources, right? And if you like this video, if you have practiced that, don't forget to delete all the resources as I mentioned that. And please do say, share, subscribe with your friends, and please tag me in the LinkedIn and with your friends as well to help us grow. And see you in the next video where we are going to add multiple stacks as well. Thank you very much, guys.